I'm Miriam Sumala Ulinemi, and I'm going to show you today how to make Pulla. In a large bowl, dissolve 2 packages of dry yeast in 2.5 cups of warm milk, 110 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Stir in 2 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of salt, and 2 to 3 teaspoons of crushed cardamom, and mix well. In Finland, you can buy the cardamom in little things like this. It's got about 3 teaspoons in one, and they have them in different degrees of fineness. They have the real fine one, and then they have a little more coarse one. I like the middle grind. If you follow a recipe about the size that I'm doing, you can dump the whole thing in. So it's kind of handy. Add about 3 cups of flour and beat well until smooth and glossy. Add the remaining flour a cup at a time until stiff dough forms. The amount of flour used should be adjusted depending on the flour type to get a stiff but not a dry dough. Then start adding 1/2 cup soft butter. Work it in until the butter is all gone. Place in a greased bowl and grease the top of the dough. Let the dough rise in a warm place about 1 hour until doubled in bulk. Divide the dough into 4 equal parts and divide each part into 3. Roll each into a 14 to 16 inch strip and braid the 3 strips together to make a straight loaf and seal the ends. Lift the bread on a heavy, lightly greased baking sheet, preferably using a baking parchment paper. Let rise 20 to 30 minutes until puffy but not doubled. Brush with beaten egg and sprinkle with crushed sugar. In Finland, just about everybody has this in their household, crushed sugar that you can put on top of your pastries or pulla. If you don't have any, you can always get sugar lumps and crush them. Bake at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. Remove from the oven when golden brown. Do not overbake. If you ask any Finn what's the most important food, they'd say bread. Bread was always, you just didn't have a meal in Finland without having bread on the table. Some parts of the country they call it nisu, and some call it vehnänen. I call it pulla, and pulla can be not just the long braided cardamom bread, but it's the same dough, but you can make many different shapes and sizes, and it's called pulla. In my grandparents' day, they came with what they were used to, of course. And in Finland, the climate is very cold generally. They have very short growing seasons, so wheat was not grown at that time in Finland. And so all of the vegetables that they used were underground vegetables and grains that would grow there. So their main grains were rye, barley, and oats. And so all their bread was dark and very nutritious, whole grain. The only time that they had wheat was it was imported, and so it was expensive. And so the only time they used it was for holidays when they made sweetbreads like this cardamom bread that we're going to do today. And so the word nisu actually means wheat in certain parts of the country. And in other parts it's called vehnä. But in this area we called it pulla.